myself, I filled it in. No time for the doubt, they counted me out, I'm getting it in, yeah. No time for no loss, I'm paying the cost, I'm in it to win, yeah. Refuse, mine it can't be diffused. If you ain't thinking the same, then we playing by different rules. You can't see the vision, we living at different views. Until we complete the mission, keep getting up, never snooze. I walked a mile in my shoes, had the mind of a fool, chasing diamonds and jewels. Trust me, I was confused. Started minding my business and used my mind as a tool. Ended up finding my purpose and found the time to get to it. They told me I couldn't do it, they told me I couldn't make it. They sold it, could never break it. That's sadly mistaken. I need a piece of the pie, I want it so bad I can taste it. They told me like Toby, keep on running, toes they gon' take them. Refuse to lose, built to win. Apply myself, I filled it in. No time for the doubt, they counted me out, I'm getting it in, yeah. No time for no loss, I pay for the cost, I'm winning to win, yeah. Refuse to lose, I'm built to win. Apply myself, I filled it in. No time for the doubt, they counted me out, I'm getting it in, yeah. No time for no loss, I'm paying the cost, I'm in it to win, yeah. Refuse.
Woo! We are back here on Unfazed with my boy AJ. I'm JJ. We got an awesome episode for y'all today. Full pack with NBA topics. The NBA season second half already kicked off. MVP talks are here. You know, is this team scary? Is that team scary? This team dangerous? That team dangerous? I mean, it's a lot of talk in the NBA, and me and AJ we got to address these topics. But I'm doing great. Can't wait for it. Fully prepared to see what my boy got to do. Ready to respond. But AJ, how you doing?
I'm feeling good, man. I'm feeling good, Joe. It's the first episode we've done dedicated to the NBA season, dedicated to basketball. And I must admit, it's refreshing for me. I'm not gonna lie, it's refreshing. You know, as an Eagles fan, it was a long year, man. It was tough getting through the year, and it wasn't as hard, you know, as being a Commanders fan, of course. But for, you know, the team defending the championship, it was a tough year. It was a long year, man. Had to deal with the AJ Brown stuff, had to deal with the Hurts talk, had to deal with all this other stuff. So now with that being out of the way, at least for the time being, and we inching towards the playoffs, you know, after the All-Star break, it's fun to just talk basketball, man. So we got a lot of fun topics, and I'm excited to get to it today, Joe. I ain't gonna lie to you. I'm ready to cook.
Man, you know, you're not lying. You know, only thing about the Commanders, my season was over. You know, I stopped caring like about what, week 14, week 12. Stopped caring after that. You know what I mean? So my stress level went down way before yours did. You know, but let's get right to it, AJ. I mean, the MVP buzz talk is MVP talk is buzzing. It is. Some people saying Jokic, SGA, K, Jaylen Brown, you know, Wemby. I'm hearing all these names. But AJ, I'm curious because, you know, take people backstage for a second. When you told me that you want to do this topic, I'm like, he got somebody that I probably ain't thinking about right now. Or he probably got somebody that's undercover. So AJ, the NBA MVP. Now we got bad. You know, there are like people that putting their top five out. You got the NBA MVP ladder. We ain't talking about that. We talking about like what AJ thinks is the MVP favorite right now. Let the people know.
Yeah. So for me, it's a simple answer, Joe. I'm not gonna lie. It's a simple answer. I think it's an answer that's gonna shock a lot of people. I think it's an answer that's gonna make a lot of my. I know I got on my Wolves hat, but we know I'm a Laker fan, you know, through and through. Even though I'm in the city, you know what I mean. I rock with the Timberwolves, so this take probably gonna make some Laker fans upset. But I gotta go with a Boston Celtic, and I gotta pick Jaylen Brown. I'm going with Jaylen Brown for MVP. Now listen, Joe. Into the audience that are watching. Again, thank y'all for tuning into today's episode. There are three things, in my opinion, that you need for an MVP in any sport. In any sport, you need a story, you need stats, you need wins. Those are the three elements you need. So let's start with the story, right? So just a couple years ago, the Celtics were fresh off of a championship, right? And the talk, even after Jaylen Brown won Finals MVP, right, was, is it Tatum or is it Brown? Who's better? Who's this? Who's that? That was the talk. Coming into the playoffs last season, defending their championship, I picked them, if I'm not mistaken, as the favorite because they looked like they were the most balanced team in the NBA. But then they get into the playoffs They run up against the Knicks. They struggle. Jason Tatum, last game of the series, tears his Achilles. And now everybody's like, yo, the Celtics, not only are they done here, they done next season. I don't know how they're going to recover. They don't have Tatum. How is Jaylen Brown going to adjust to now being the number one option on this team? I, for one, question that. I'm like, look, I think Jaylen Brown is nice, but I don't think he's Tatum. I think he's close. I think you can make that conversation, but I don't know if he's Jason Tatum. I got to see it to believe it. And I kind of crossed them out coming into this season without Tatum. I'm looking at the Cavs, right? Shout out to the Pistons. They're a surprise team. I didn't think they'd be as good as they are, right? But they're in the mix. I'm looking at the Knicks. I'm looking at all these other teams in the East, but I'm not really paying attention to the Celtics, right? So that's the story. Can Jaylen Brown lead this team back to the promised land? Can Jaylen Brown keep them guys competitive? At one point, it was just keep them competitive long enough for Tatum to come back. Let's look at the numbers, Joe. The man fourth in the league for points per game, averaging nearly 30, 29 to be exact, shooting 48% from the field, 7 rebounds, 5 assists. And we know what he is defensively, arguably the best two-way player in the league. I'm going to say as of right now, he's the best two-way player in basketball, right? The other person I think that's close to this conversation, I believe, is Cade Cunningham, in my opinion. I think he's a close second. But I think what Jaylen Brown does for his team is just a tick more, depending on what you're looking for. Cade is going to give you more assists, right? But Jaylen Brown is going to give you more rebounds. Jaylen Brown is averaging more points. He's shooting better from the field and from the three-point line, right? So you got that going for you. And then you look at the wins. Joe, the Celtics are the second seed in the Eastern Conference. Jrue Holiday is gone. Porzingis is gone. Al Horford is gone. No Jason Tatum. And they are the second seed in the Eastern Conference right behind the Detroit Pistons. They now have the fourth best odds to win the championship, right? And the second best odds behind Cleveland to win the Eastern Conference. So I'm looking at them as a team, and I'm like, who is his second, who is this all-star teammate? He don't have none right now. He out there with Peyton Pritchard and White. Out there getting buckets, leading this team to the second seed in the Eastern Conference. I think when you look at the story, when you look at the stats, and when you look at the wins, in my opinion, I think it's a no-brainer. If I had to vote today, I'm penciling in Jaylen Brown for league MVP. And the last thing I'll say is this before I let you go, Joe. The number of games played matter in today's day and age, in today's games. There's a lot of players that are close to reaching ineligibility, if I can get the word out, for winning MVP, right? Jokic is right on the line. SGA is right on the line. Luka is right on the line. A lot of guys that you would think will be in this conversation are like 2, 3, 4 games away from, hey, you're not even eligible for the award. Jaylen Brown has missed 3 or 4 games this season. So he's right where he needs to be in order to win this game, win this award. He's available. He has the numbers. He has the wins. And he has the story. And give me Jaylen Brown.
Wow. I'm shocked. And I disagree for sure. So I'm glad I disagree. Okay. I definitely disagree. All right. So first of all, SGA is the MVP. But Cade is second in MVP. Now, I could easily make my case for SGA. I'm going to do it real quick. You know, SGA, I know you said Jaylen Brown, 30. He almost averaging 30 points per game, shooting 48%, I think, 48% from the field. And he just not, I get it, SGA got the team around him, right? SGA averaging 31.8. And shooting 55%, AJ. Do you know out of the top 30 scorers, only Lauri Markkanen, Nikola Jokic, and Giannis are the only 3 players that are shooting a higher percentage than a point guard, SGA. And I believe I just named 3 bigs. That's the only reason why they got a higher percentage. SGA is definitely the MVP. Now, here's another stat right here for SGA that's crazy. Do you know SGA is averaging 2.1 turnovers per game? Let me know how significant that is. Wow, averaging 31.8 points with the second in the NBA. While shooting 55%, only turn the ball over 2.1 times a game. And out of the top 30 scorers, only Norman Powell, Trey Murphy, and Lauri Markkanen are the only 3 people who have less turnovers than him per game. I mean, that's incredible for a guy who holds the ball so much. So SGA is also second in clutch points per clutch points per game. Sorry, total clutch points. So not only he is dominant throughout the game, he's dominant in the clutch too. And he got the highest plus minus in the NBA. Now, let me go to Cade, man. Cade is second, for sure. So if we talk about stories and all that stuff, what about the Detroit Pistons? I get it. The Celtics, they lost Jason Tatum, they lost you, they lost their guy, but don't forget, they got a lot of championship quality players on that roster. They just won a championship. Where did Detroit come from? Detroit came from the mud. Detroit was on a record, almost about to break the Nets record for the worst record in NBA history. They get to the playoffs to the back door, and they lose to the Pistons in the first round and come out the gate and have the number 1 seed in the East. And just yesterday, 2 days ago, before they lost to the Spurs, they had the number 1 seed in the daggone NBA. Cade Cunningham averages 25 points a game, 5.8 rebounds, 9.8 assists, which is second in the NBA. Best record in the East, and it sounds good. Jaylen Brown, second in the East. Okay. Cade, first in the East. The separation between the Pistons and the Celtics is the same separation between the Celtics and Toronto. So they not really neck and neck. It's a big gap between them two. So Cade is second in the NBA, while Jaylen Brown is fourth in the NBA. But the gap between Cade and Boston is same gap between, like I said, them and Toronto, which is 17 in between them in the whole league. Their record is not close. So I get it sound good. He's second in the East, but he's nowhere near first. And also Jaylen Brown. This is why my knock on Jaylen Brown is. Cade Cunningham against the Eastern Conference. Big dogs. 3-1 against the Celtics. 3-0 against the Knicks. And 1-1 against the Cavs. He's 7-2 against the other top 3 in his conference. Look at Jaylen Brown. 1-3 against the Pistons. That's a dub right there. 1-2 against the Knicks. And he 2-0 against the Cavs. I give him that. But the man got to lose a record against the East. 4-5. So obviously, yeah, I mean, he could probably beat, the Charlotte Hornets here and there. He could beat, who else in it? The Orlando Magic. He could beat them. You know what I mean? He could beat all the Wizards, maybe. But when it comes to the top 10s in the East, where is he? That's what I want to know. And lastly, about Jaylen Brown. In the clutch, do you know that he has the most turnovers in the NBA in the clutch? And 15th in scoring? He's not good in the clutch. So I get it. Jaylen Brown is a pick where it's like, I did not expect him to be here. So let me push him to MVP. I get it, man. It's a good story, but it ain't better than SGA, and it daggone better than Cade. So he is third on my list. I would give him that, but he's definitely not first.
First off, to address SGA. SGA got 6 games before he not even eligible for the award. So my question for SGA is SGA going to come out, continue his level of play, and play enough games to be eligible for the award? My guess is he's not. My guess is he's going to miss 6 games. That's my guess. And naturally, again, just by that, off default, you got to scratch him off the list unless he makes eligibility. That's in my opinion. Now, the second thing to the SGA thing is, what's his story? Joe, as much as we talk numbers and things like that, the story always matters. Okay. In most cases, it always matters. Think about Derrick Rose. Think about some of the years that LeBron won, right? Think about some previous league MVPs, even the Jokic years. Think about some of his years where, Jokic, especially the first year, came out of the blue and was playing lights out. It's like, you got to give it to him. Think about Russell Westbrook. KD leaves, right? And his story, OKC, and he's averaging a triple-double and leading them to the playoffs. SGA, okay, he fresh off of winning the championship. He's coming out, and I hate to say it, but the voters looking at SGA like, yeah, it's SGA. I can almost guarantee SGA don't win the award just off of guys the voters looking at SGA like he's not a fun pick, and that's just us being honest. He's not a fun pick at this point. I'd rather go with a guy like Jaylen Brown. I'd rather go with a guy like Cade Cunningham. So those are the 2 reasons why I crossed him off the list. Not because he's not a great player, not because he's not deserving of the award, but because there are 2 key elements in today's NBA that I feel like you need. And I feel like those are 2 elements, from his availability, right, to him lacking a story, in my personal opinion, right, that Like I said, he just doesn't have in order to win this award. Now, again, Cade Cunningham. I went back and forth between Cade and Jaylen Brown. I did. Again, I think Cade Cunningham is having a fantastic season. But when I look at what Jaylen Brown has done, this team is not the same Celtics team that was around last year. This team he had to come into and form a new chemistry with. This team he had to mold himself into a brand new role that he hadn't played for the Celtics ever in his career. Now, Cade Cunningham, this is Cade's role. It was his role last year. It's his role as a rookie. It's his role this year. I'm the guy. I run the offense. I facilitate. I score. This is my role. These teammates, for the most part, the same. Chemistry already there. We're just picking up where we left off, and we taking it to another level. Opposed to a guy in Jaylen Brown, who again, the turnover's a little different. Like I said, Jrue Holiday not there. Porzingis just got traded. Al Horford, who's a big-time veteran piece, is no longer there. And so you now have to galvanize the guys, say, hey, look, now I'm the guy. It's my team, at least until Jason Tatum comes back. I run this. And with that, I will have us as the second seed in the Eastern Conference. And you say, oh, the gap is crazy. It's 4.5 games. It's 4.5 games. A swing can happen at any point at this time of the season. A swing can happen at any point. It's not as if the Celtics aren't in the race to get the 1 seed. It's not as if it's a 10-game gap like OKC last year had, felt like a 30-game gap between one and everyone else, and they had the 1 seed locked up with like 20 games left. That's not the case. The Pistons still got to continue to win in order to secure that 1 seed. So again, I think it's close. I think Cade is right there. It could be a 1A, 1B type of thing. But I think what Jaylen Brown has had to overcome this season with the Boston Celtics, the changeover, not having your second best, or some would say your best player on the team this upcoming season, right? Him having to overcome that and lead the team the way he's led the team. On top of the fact that, again, he's doing a little bit more than Cade, in my personal opinion, just off of what I see. Cade is leading the offense, no doubt. He's getting those assists, but he ain't scoring the ball the way Jaylen Brown's scoring the ball. He's not as efficient scoring the ball as Jaylen Brown is. He's not. So, and it's close, but I'm taking Jaylen Brown over Cade. And like I said, the Pistons, I never would have thought that the Pistons would be the number 1 seed in the East. I never would have thought they could do what they're doing right now. But you see the growth, right? You see the growth in the personnel. You see they kind of like the bad boy Pistons. Like you see they have come into this season, similar roster, hungry. Whereas the Celtics, after JT went down, it was almost like the Celtics might have to hit the reset button on the season. Like we didn't get the Pistons much of a shot either. I will say to accomplish what they've accomplished for sure. But we were really out on the Celtics without Tatum. Nobody was convinced. And to be where they are because of Jaylen Brown, and again, Peyton Pritchard and White as your next 2 guys. I mean, at least Cade got another All-Star he playing with. I'm just saying. Give me Jaylen Brown.
So I want to address a comment you mentioned about two-way player. He's arguably the best two-way guard. The best two-way player is Wemby. So let's start there. He's the best two-way player in the league. All right. How he dominates.
We gonna get to him in a second. He like a cheat code, but I got you.
Yes, that's the point. Cheat code. So that's that. Now, the question is not who will be MVP. If I can predict the future, the question is who's the MVP favorite? And to scratch out SGA, I think it's crazy because he has 6 games left and it's like less than 30 games left to play. So he's on track to come back also. And I feel like he will finish the season off. And I think he will come back and beat SGA. I have no reason to feel like he won't. Just like Jokic was out. And Jokic came back and was Jokic. He came back and then missed a beat.
So first off, when is he? How many more games is he supposed to miss? Is he coming back next game?
I'm not sure, but they say he's coming back before he's ineligible. So I'm not going to scratch him out.
So that means my bad. I just want to say that means that most likely means though he might miss a game, maybe 2, but then he got to play the rest of the season. And with hamstrings and abdominal things, those things pop up, bruh. You can't guarantee he gonna bet. He could finish it, and if he finishes the season and is eligible, I still think he missing a story, but
here's my thing with OKC though. Period. Like they're not they're relaxing for the playoffs, so I don't think his injury is as serious as it look. So, but hold on though. What's the story? So, what the story I heard from you, it sounds like Jaylen Brown most improved, not MVP. It's like he most improved because what I did not expect this. It's new. It's this. You know, it was OKC story domination, because how many MVPs who won a championship comes back and still dominate? How many people know that do that? Not that many. You brought up guys like Derrick Rose need a story. Who was the second runner-up? LeBron, who he outdid in the conference. They had a better record. You mentioned Russell Westbrook. He had a triple-double for the first time with Oscar Robertson. The guys you're mentioning, Jaylen Brown's story ain't nothing like that. Jaylen Brown's story is the most improved story. It's oh my gosh, I did not expect him to do this, so we got to give him the MVP award. Just because you bored that Ajae giving you 30 plus a night or 55% and winning almost every game, we get bored of that. So we gotta give it to the guy who's new. So that's that right there. So I feel like we just bored of SGA. Just like people get bored of Jokic. Jokic, oh, he got a triple double. So it's just I'm used to this. I'm not used to Jaylen Brown averaging 30. I'm not used to that. So I gotta give an MVP. Where is he leading the league in? How can I give him something and he's not leading in no category? How many MVPs don't lead in nothing? He's not leading in standings. He's not leading in points, as we brag about the points. He's not leading in field goal percentage. He's not leading in steals. He's not the man. I mean, his PER, which is an MVP stat, is like 15, 16. So Jaylen Brown is just a feel-good story. He's not the MVP. And K is definitely above him. And I know 4.5 games seem like a lot. I mean, to the Celtics it does. To the Celtics, because 4.5 games, 3-1 on the Celtics. You know, right, in 4 games, 3-1. The Celtics haven't beaten the top contenders in the East. So how can you win MVP if you don't lead in nothing? You don't lead in the standings. You don't beat the top competition you accomplished, and you MVP? When does that ever happen? Only when it's a feel-good story, like where everybody says Josh Allen got the MVP. Oh, we got to give it to him because it's just a good story. I mean, I couldn't believe Jaylen Brown without Tatum, y'all. Come on now, it's about Tatum, y'all. No Drew Holiday, no Porzingis, and he got him to the number 2 seed when he didn't beat the top competition in his conference. Like, come on, man. Now, if he would have beat Detroit, if he would have beat the competition while doing this, then you got a point. But it looks like he's beating up all the bad teams. That's what it looked like. But go ahead.
I'm not saying it's fair. I'm just saying that's oftentimes how it goes. And I'm telling you, Joe, I could almost guarantee you SGA is not good. You can make the argument. Now, I know we at the very end went with SGA, right, last year to win MVP. But a lot of people felt like Jokic should have won. And the league got tired of Jokic. Like, we're not giving it to Jokic. Bron been on that for years. And
before you go to the next, hold on, whoa. The Jokic and SGA comparison is nothing like this comparison.
I said some because and I also want to say this. K got the best record. K has the best record in the East. Statistically, not leading the league. He not leading the league in points. He not leading the league in assists. He not leading. It's not number 1. That's what I'm saying though. Okay, I give him the East, but you said it as if you got to lead the league in some statistical category outside of standings. And Cade is not leading in any of those either. Too. Now I said K, because he, in my opinion, K does have all of the elements from the story to the stats, and he got some big time marquee wins. We're gonna talk about them shortly, which is why I don't want to get too deep into the Pistons just yet. But what I will say is, I don't think, and this is going to sound a little crazy, I don't think he is as valuable to this Pistons team right now as Jaylen Brown is to the Celtics. I don't. I think the Pistons without Cade Cunningham, now I'm not saying it will be a crazy difference. I'm not going to say that. But I think the Pistons are a better team without Cade than the Celtics are without Jaylen Brown. I strongly feel that way. Strongly feel because they have more to the. They play. I feel like they play more as a team. Like, they don't really have the Pistons playing the way where they don't really have a second go to necessarily. They got a lot of guys that come to the table and contribute as a team. And Cade is a big part of that because Cade runs the offense. And I give you that. For Boston, I feel like it is mainly Jaylen Brown. I feel like it is mainly Jaylen Brown. Pritchard might give you a game or two. White might give you a game. They might do a little something. But mainly, it is Jaylen Brown over there. That's how I see it. That's how I see it. And again, that's no shot at Cade. It's more of a big up to the way I've witnessed the Pistons play this year. Bro, they just played the Spurs the other night.
Mm-hmm.
Cade shot what, 6 of 25?
That's why they lost. Yeah,
They didn't. If you go into a game against another team we're getting ready to talk about pretty soon, you go up against a team like the Spurs that's playing the way they playing right now, and you have Cade, who is the guy in Detroit, and he shoots 6 of 25. I'm like, Spurs won that game by 25. Had to. Because Cade is the engine that makes them go. But the Pistons was in the game. The Pistons were in the game. Hanging.
It was a double-digit lead the whole time, though.
They were within striking distance.
Because of defense,
all game.
That's why. They couldn't hit was bad.
As a team, they are very well constructed and put together around Cade. And again, this roster, as far as turnover, they are picking up where they left off and elevating to where they are now. And the last thing I'll say is this: I like how you. I mean, you can make the case for most improved. But ain't no most improved player in the league giving you 30 a game. Ain't no most improved player defending and playing the way Jaylen Brown been playing. Like I can't give you that. I see what you tried to do, but not no Finals MVP. You could say, oh, he's a most improved player. I'm not giving you that. Jaylen Brown stepped into a role without Jason Tatum and has balled out all season long, been available besides 3 or 4 games all season long, and has carried the Celtics without multiple solid players that they had in the year they won the championship to the 2nd seed in the Eastern Conference, still within strike conditions of the 1st seed. Now, does he have to be better against marquee teams? Do the Celtics as a team have to be better against marquee teams? Because I will give you, right, that they don't have a bunch of wins against these marquee teams. Joe, the Celtics ain't that good. They're not that good of a basketball team. Like I said, the Pistons play well as a team. It ain't just Cade out there killing you when you play against them Pistons. Or they out there strapping down. They out there defending. They out there playing on another level. Whereas Boston, I can't say the same. You stop Jaylen Brown, it's lights out for the Celtics. So like I said, Cade is close. Very close. And again, I went back and forth on this. I went back and forth on this. I figured you might throw SGA in there because I know how you feel about SGA, right? I had Cade in my notes. I'm like, but I ended up siding with Jaylen Brown because I like what I have seen from him, how he has led this team this season. So I got to rock out with him.
I just don't like the whole story thing, like the example.
You know it matters. You know the story matters. You might not like the examples, but you do. You know that's how it goes.
The examples you're getting doesn't equate to Jaylen Brown. Now, one story you gave that Jaylen Brown can relate to.
The stories don't have to equate. It's the fact that you have to, in my opinion, in most cases, you have to have a story. Unless, my bad, and I'll say this and I'll let you go and we can move on. Unless, right, you're having such a sensational season where the story don't matter. He just lights out over everyone else. And honestly, bro, like SGA hooping, I don't look at SGA like that this year. I don't look at SGA like that this year. I don't look at Cade like that this year. I don't look at Jokic like where they having such a sensational season that they don't need a story behind them. No, I think every candidate you look at is going to have some sort of like when the voters get in that room. Yeah, these are the numbers. Yes, these are the wins. But what did he have to overcome this year? What did they have to do? What did he have to do for his team this year? They're gonna talk about that too, and I think that's gonna be a big part of the decision making. It might not be fair, but I don't think guys are dominating to the point where you don't need a story.
But not just a story. The stories of the guys you are naming had an MVP, a legit MVP case. I feel like Jaylen Brown don't. Jaylen Brown
Oh
is
my
not
goodness.
a legit case to be number one. No, Derrick
Yes.
Rose had a legit case to be number one. He actually, the person that he beat was LeBron James. He had a better record than him. Like there was something you could look at him and LeBron and say he beat him in the same conference. Russell Westbrook averaged a triple-double. Nobody else has done that since Oscar Robertson. I forgot who else you named. Like, but this like the story, it matters, but you have to have a case to beat the guy you talking about.
Most guys, when you look at both sides of the standings, the Western Conference and the Eastern Conference, if you look at the top, and I'm gonna just let me I could double check real quick, but I'm gonna just guess before I even look at the notes. Before you get to right, let's just say the fourth seed in each conference, all of those teams, for the most part, are teams that were already constructed. Most of the MVP candidates that are in the conversation have an all-star teammate. They have another guy that's all-star caliber, bro, that helps them get to the top 3 seed in the Western Conference. Can you say that about Jaylen Brown and the Boston Celtics?
The only reason why Jalen Duren is an all-star because they were the number 1 seed. Normally the number 1 seed, you get 2 all-stars. If Celtics were the number 1 seed, Derek White probably would have been the all-star team.
No, he wouldn't have. No, he wouldn't have. No, he would not have, bro. He wasn't close.
Name a number 1 seed that voters don't vote for a second all-star. That's normally the case. You get voted because of you just a number 1 seed. That's how the case is. Like J-Dub was averaging like 18 points a game, and he made the All-Star game because he's the second best player on the best team. That's how it normally goes.
His impact, he cleared number 2. His impact ain't the same as Derek White, bro. It's
you
different
telling me
levels.
Derek White don't have a Derek White paying, bro? You're talking about like days in the comments.
I'm telling you his impact. I'm talking about his impact, and J-Dub is too. But his impact. And listen, and I'll say this. Yeah, Derek White is a championship caliber player playing with Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum. You're asking him when Tatum leaves to now you gotta be like number 2 on this team. There's a difference. I don't think his impact is the same as J-Dub's, and we'll see in the post if he's let's say hypothetically speaking, right? The way Jaylen Brown playing right now, if Derek White can have the same impact or a similar impact, right, or a similar impact of a J-Dub, if Derek White could play on that level, then the Celtics would probably be a finals favorite. They'd be a finals favorite, bro.
I'm talking about based on the regular season, J-Dub was not an all-star. But because he was on the best team, he got voted and picked by the coaches because you reward the number 1 seed. That's what you normally do. You reward them.
But and I get that. All I'm saying is
remember the Hawks? Bro, they had Kyle Korver make the all-star team. They got the number 1 seed.
They had great years. And that's fair. They had a great year. But all I'm saying is the J-Dub, we talking about examples. J-Dub, in my opinion, ain't a great example because J-Dub is a better player than Derek White.
I get you. I'm my example of even Jalen Duren. Is he truly a number 2 player on a number 1 seed? Is he really? You know what I mean? So he's not. He's a solid player though. But is he really if you would have told me he's gonna be the second best player on the number 1 seed, you're gonna be like, I can't really see that, but I won't be surprised. You know what I mean? If I would have told you something about Derek White, you'd be like, I can't see that, but I won't be surprised.
This is a question. I don't have the exact answer on hand. But when LeBron had the Cavs number 1 seed, did they have another? Was it Mo Williams? That was the second
Mo
All-Star?
Williams, yeah, it was Mo Williams. Mo Williams made an All-Star team, and I think Il Gossett made it one time. Like it's because they rewarded number 1 seed, bro. And I'm telling you, even when LeBron didn't win MVP, but Steve Nash did, and everybody what? It was crazy. And you might say it was a story, but Steve Nash had a case. He was I think he was number 1 seed that year, and they got hurt, and then he carried up. Amar Stoudemire played 15 games the whole year, and they still got the number 1 seed. So Jaylen Brown's case.
To say Jaylen Brown ain't got no cases, to say the man ain't got no case is crazy.
To be number 1.
That's crazy work.
His only case
you saying he got a case to be in the conversation. You saying he got a case to be in the conversation, but he don't have the case to be number 1. Is what you saying?
He's third on my list.
I disagree, but I feel where you coming from. I hear what you're saying.
Think about it. Like MVP. The only case you got for MVP for real is a story, but anything else is there's no case. He's not number 1 in nothing. Literally. And he losing all the best teams.
He he putting up MVP caliber numbers, bro.
But his numbers
know he
are
not-
better than the guys we are ahead of him. Like SGA got better numbers.
His numbers,
and
some of
record
his,
than him.
bro, he has better numbers than Cade Cunningham, bro. His rebounds,
No,
his
Cade
shooting,
does.
his three-point shooting, and his shooting
Cade,
from the field on top of the points. His numbers are better than Cade's numbers. He might have better numbers. He might have. You said what?
No, it's not.
Well, you say he leading the league. I mean,
cool.
but he shooting 48%. Ain't like he shoot 30. Ain't like he shoot 33%. He shoot 48%, higher percentages than Cade from 3 in the field. I'm just saying, I would be chucking like Kobe too.
But Cade also was second in assists though. He's a point guard. He's 25 and 9.8 with number 1 seed with Detroit Pistons. Like who would and 3-1 the Celtics. And he like Carl always say he would have 4-0'd them if he missed the free throws in the game. Cade did. Cade missed free throws for them to lose the game. If he would have made the free throws, they would have 4-0'd the Celtics. 4-0. So I get it, man. Jalen Brown it's like the.
But he missed those free throws, so I just want he didn't make them. That's just how it goes. He did miss them. Like we can't just give it to him. But if he would have, he had a chance to win. He lost. But I feel you. We gonna have to agree to disagree. All I'm saying is SGA not gonna win. I'm gonna say that it's gonna come down to those two. SGA ain't gonna get it. But speaking of we doing all this talking about right facts lasted longer than I thought it was. But we love it. That's how you start a show. That's how you start a show.
I know.
To transition though, speaking of Cade Cunningham, we got to talk about the Pistons as a team. We did a little bit of talking about them just now, but let's dive deeper into what the Pistons are. We got to ask the question, Joe. Do you believe that they are the team to beat in the Eastern Conference?
Yes, I do. And the reason why I think they're the team to beat, who's the juggernaut? I mean, let's be real. Like, is there an OKC in the East? No. Shoot, there Denver in the East. Like, think about the superstars that are in the East. Cade can make a case that he's the best player in the East. He can make am I saying he's the best? But you look at Jalen Brunson. I know you got like Embiid, but Embiid, low managing all that stuff. But I'm talking about the top 4 seeds. Donovan Mitchell, you got Jaylen Brown, and you got Jalen Brunson. Cade could walk into any series and think to himself like, yo, I'm the best player in this series. They got the best record. They're the best defensive team in the East. They've been dominating the competition. Like I mentioned, they swept the Knicks. And we talking about JB Bickerstaff mentioned that, like, yo, the Knicks don't want to see us. Like, we see the Knicks again, we going to spank them. That's basically what he said. And they've been spanking the Knicks ever since they've been seeing them, bro. The last time they played the Knicks, he dropped 40. So, like, he's big in these big games. And then I told you about the Celtics, 3-1 the Celtics, and then the Cavs, he won against the Cavs, but the Cavs, So the reason why I only think that because I know they don't have the experience. You might say, oh, they're not battle tested. OKC was the same way. I remember they lost to Dallas and they came back the next year, best record in the league. And people, close my boy Ajae, hey, they not battle tested, which I understand because they're a young team, but then they grew up and they won. So that's how I see them, see the Detroit Pistons. I think that series with the Knicks was so good for them because if you go back and watch that series, they were up almost every game and they blew it every single time because of lack of experience. Like they just went cold down the stretch, turnover after turnover. But the first 3.5 quarters, they were really beating up the Knicks. The Knicks was just a more experienced, been there, done that team. Now they've been there, they lost. Now they got that sour taste in their mouth, and they showing it in the regular season. You watch the games, like you mentioned it. When they played the San Antonio Spurs, the Spurs, I don't know if y'all know this, Wemby went into that game, not only one team he hasn't gotten a block on was Detroit. Ended up with 6 blocks, by the way. But you can tell watching that game that he was like, oh, for real? And the Spurs played hard. But that was a playoff game. Like, they were physical with Wemby and everything. Like, Cade, although he was 5 for 26, he put up 26 shots. I like that. I like the fact that he's trying to go take that one. So I would say right now as we speak, they should be the team to beat in the East.
I'm going to agree with you on this one. I think they are the team to beat in the East. And I think the reason why I believe they're a team to beat in the East, and it's no disrespect to them, it says more about the conference than it does about them. Now, again, respect to the Pistons and what they have accomplished this year. Respect to Cade. Cade, bruh, watching them go up against the Knicks the other night, I'm like, yo, he was out there looking like Kobe, bruh. He was out there looking like whatever he wanted, he got, and was talking trash to them in the process. I hear Stephen A. While I work, I listen to First Take almost every day, and I listen to Stephen A. regurgitate the same point over and over again. The Pistons don't want to just go to the finals. They want the Knicks. He says it every. They want the Knicks. They want to go through the Knicks, and it's like you can see that every time they play the Knicks, but. Looking at the rest of the conference, right? It's different than the West, and you kind of hit on it, right? Like, there is no marquee team right now in the East. I thought last year was crazy. I thought the Celtics were the marquee team in the East last year, but the East is so weird and wonky where we just saw the Pacers just go on a crazy run and get through the East and go to the NBA Finals. I don't think any of us expected that. Like, I don't think any of us expected them to go on that run to the Finals. Now, the Pacers aren't around anymore, right? Obviously, Halliburton towards Achilles, they're not around anymore. And you're looking at the landscape of the Eastern Conference. I think the one team, Joe, that matches up with them the best, if fully healthy, is the Boston Celtics. I think it's the Boston Celtics. But I think they need Jason Tatum. And the reason why I say that, and the reason why I say that is, given what I just said about Jaylen Brown, had Jaylen Brown done that with Tatum around the whole time, I'd be picking the Celtics. I don't care what the regular season looked like. I'd be picking the Celtics. Just because I trust the Celtics in those big spots a little bit more than I trust the Pistons right now. And they're a proven champion. But it's weird now because Jaylen Brown has now turned his game up to a whole nother level. When Tatum comes back, even though he's Tatum, he kind of got to find his footing again with the team, in my opinion. Not only does he have to work off the rust, but now it's like, I'm kind of the number 2 guy. This team following the number 2 seed, I kind of got to figure out what my fit is with the team. Am I just going to focus on the defensive side of the ball and score when the ball hits my hands? Or am I finna go in there trying to be the scorer that I was before I went down with my injury? So that dynamic for me doesn't necessarily take the Celtics out of the question, but it makes me question the Celtics. So if you take them out of the equation for the second, or at least question them, and you look at the Knicks, we already talked about how Detroit, the Knicks are my favorite to go to, the team I picked to go to the finals. The Knicks just better hope they don't see Detroit. That's just kind of how I see it. You got to hope that they lose to someone else, because if they see the Knicks, it's over with. You got Cleveland. I don't trust James Harden. I'm sorry. I don't trust James Harden. James Harden is the type of guy that he has to dominate the ball at this time in his career. He's a guy that you're going to rely on to not only facilitate, but at some point, you're going to need him to score and make shots down the stretch. I don't trust James Harden, right? You look at the Raptors. The Sixers, I don't want to go too deep into the conference because we're going to talk about sleepers in the second half of our, in the last part of our show. So I'm going to save the bottom like 6 to 10 for that topic. But I'll just say, looking at the top 5 seeds, the seeds that I really think could kind of take them out if the Pistons are playing at the top of their game, I don't see nobody that I'm like, I'm putting my money on this team to beat the Pistons. Like, if I pick against the Pistons, it's going to be for lack of experience, for real. That's what it's going to come down to. But the Eastern Conference is wide open. So if I had to pick a team that is to beat out there, yeah, it'd be Detroit. Now, again, last thing, before we move on, I want to reiterate this point. Don't let Jason Tatum come back and find his footing and figure out his role and find a way to mesh with this team again. It could get ugly with the way Jaylen Brown playing. It could get ugly. If you telling me now Jaylen Brown's the number 1 and defenses are trying to stop Jaylen Brown now instead of Tatum, it's going to get nasty out there. So all bets are off if Tatum is back and looking like Tatum. I'm going to just put that out there. But as of right now, I'm going with Detroit. You muted.
If Tatum was healthy all year, it's the Celtics. And they will be number 1. So, like, the Celtics are arguably as good as OKC. You know what I mean? Like probably not as good. I'm talking if they were fully healthy. Like last year, bro, I get it. They lost to the Knicks. I really think if they would have ran that series back, they probably would have 4-1 them, bro. Like if they would have said, you know what, let's start over and let's play for real, or let's take
They
this
lost.
seriously.
They lost some
I'm
tough
not
ones.
trying to disrespect the Knicks. They won.
Mm-hmm.
And I think they did not win because Tatum got hurt. They was winning that game anyway. But I feel like if they would have saw the Knicks, everybody would have been on the Knicks neck this year. If they would have saw the Knicks again this year with Tatum, they wiping the Knicks on the floor. If Tatum was helping the whole year, but he's not there, and that's why I worry about is like you said, if he comes back, the rhythm. When they did say today that he's been doing 5-on-5, and he's
Okay.
been good. So I think
Okay.
he's really coming back. But what I think about all the time, you a Lakers fan, you remember this. When y'all played the Orlando Magic, I remember Jameer Nelson got hurt going into the playoffs, and Rafer Alston came in and took over, and they got all the way to the NBA Finals. Jameer Nelson comes in game 1 and just threw off the rhythm. And that was him playing all year and just not the playoffs. We talking about Tatum. He hasn't played all year. And he coming back towards the playoffs. That's kind of dangerous. But I do know this, though. When Brown game elevates, Tatum game will elevate too. Because although Tatum is younger, he's big bro. As far as, you know what I mean? He's number 1. And that's what happens. If your little bro get better, you gonna get better. There's no way you let little bro get better than you, right? So that's that. Because Tatum is more talented. He just need that. He's not that 24/7 dog like Jaylen Brown.
Right.
But I'm with you also. The lack of experience will be the only reason why Detroit would lose in the series. I feel like they should beat anybody in the East. I'm with Carl the matchup with the Cavs because the Cavs got 2 bigs, just like them. They got bigs, they got defensive guys. I get with Harden, but they got a playoff baller and Donovan Mitchell. They gotta be healthy too, because the Cavs been dealing with injuries last few years. So if they fully healthy, they can bang with them on the front line, and they got a bona fide scorer in the playoffs, Donovan Mitchell. So, and they got rid of, even though they got James Harden, but Darius Garland is hurt every year, bro, and he's undersized. So, although James Harden might not show up, it's still more than what Garland would give you in the playoffs. Say the truth. So, but I'm going with Detroit.
Yeah, and I just want to say, just add to that before we quickly move on. Again, bro. It ain't like we ain't seen James Harden with some great teams. I mean, he played with KD, Russ. His role was big, right? With them, 6 man.
He lost to the Lakers, though, bro.
I mean, no, I mean they lost to the Lakers. They lost to the Lakers the first year. They lost to the Heat in the finals. Okay, he was young at the time, right? Then he went and played with the Rockets. Yeah, he folded. Then he went and played with the Rockets, right? And it didn't really work out with the Rockets. He was a part of that team that missed like 27 straight threes and couldn't beat the Warriors, right? And then you look at the years with the Clippers, and he got Kawhi, and he got Zubac, and he got some other guy. He got a great coach. And it came down to,
Not that wasn't on him though, because he had a really good game 6, and then game 7 they got blown out.
I mean, but look how he played in game 7, Joe. He was a part of the reason why they got blown out. He was a part of the reason, bro.
I put that on Ty Lue. Not having that team, but it was down by like 25, like in the first quarter.
It's game 7. You're James Harden. A coach shouldn't have to get you ready for that game,
you ain't
bro.
the best player though. Kawhi is. Kawhi was healthy.
But you number 2 though. He number 2.
He gave you game 6.
He gotta give you game 7 too. That's what I'm telling you. He gotta give you both, bro. He gotta do it in that game too, bro. He gotta at least be effective. He wasn't even effective, bro.
I know Spider, but Spider got you.
Yeah. Like I said, I'm interested in seeing the Cavs in the postseason this year. It should be fun to watch. If I'm a true contender in that conference, I'm looking like he gonna find it. He gonna no show at some point. If I'm a Pistons fan, I'm counting on that because it's gonna happen. You just gotta capitalize on those moments when they present themselves. But moving on to the West, Joe, we spent a little bit of time talking about the Spurs and talking about how the Western Conference look. I gotta ask you now, same question. Actually, no, differently phrased question. For the Pistons, it was, are they the team to beat in the West? For the Spurs, it's, should the Spurs be the favorite in the Western Conference? Gotta ask you, Joe, how you feeling about that? Should the Spurs be the favorites in the West?
Now, I want everybody to know I'm a real big Wemby fan. I am. I'm a big Victor Wembanyama fan. And it's because he legit, and people hate on him, he legit has GOAT potential. Like he can literally be the GOAT. So We could be talking about in my lifetime. I kind of saw Jordan, who's GOAT material. I saw LeBron, who's GOAT material. I saw Kobe too, but Kobe is not GOAT. I don't look at Kobe as the greatest of all time. Hardest worker all time, overcomer all time, maybe Kobe. But Wemby is there. And you know why? Because of hair. He has the mentality of a straight killer. I remember he was in the locker room and he was reading a book, and Joker's like, "You reading?" He's like, "I read before every game." And they laugh. I'm like, "Y'all tripping. He's ahead of the game."
Right.
Leaders are readers. You know, somebody told me for every mental growth book you read, you make $10,000. Take that note. Wow. For every one you read in your lifetime, you're gonna make $10,000, AJ. So you might get to reading. All right, that's what they told me. So right. Gonna pay you like a mug. Like, no. Right. But what I'm saying is, no, Tina. Are we? Is OKC here? What are we talking about? Like, why are we having this question? Like, team to beat, favorite. I don't care how you call it. It's OKC. And why is it OKC? Here's the scary part about OKC that nobody's talking about for real. First of all, every statistical category you could bring up about the Spurs, OKC got them, except for rebounding. Every statistical, I mean, we're talking about offensive rating, defensive rating, scoring, field goal percentage, 3-point percentage, taking care of the ball per game, forcing turnovers, everything. They're just better. They're a better defensive team and better offensive team. Now, get me wrong. They 3-1 I think they 4-1. They 4-1 the OKC Thunder. It's a bad matchup. I get you. 4-1. I remember a team last year 3-1 the team and lost in the first round. Shout out to them Pistons. 3-1 the Knicks and lost in the first round. But so it don't matter because players are different beasts. We talking about the defending champions right now, AJ. And look, here's the thing. Did you know? And I mentioned this in the MVP case. OKC Thunder coasting, man. These injuries ain't that serious. They starting lineup play a total of 42 minutes the whole year together. That's it. And they are the number 1 seed. This is scary. It's getting scary. Scary hours, man. It's getting scary, man. And you're right, AJ. They had to overcome. That's why they went 7 games with the Nuggets. That's why they went 7 games with the Pacers. You think they go against what? They whopping the Pacers getting wiped. They learned. They grew. This is going to be a better team. They got that championship pedigree. You know how it is. When you're a champion, it's hard for you to go away. They just can't go away. I remember as a Kings fan playing the Warriors. Wait, bro, I was so confident going to that series, but they just champions, bro. They just found a way to scratch a claw. That's why every time Steph play LeBron in the playoffs, I'm like, you're going to lose because you're going against another guy that's just like you. He's just a little bit better. LeBron is also tested. So when you go against a team that's tested, it's going to take a little extra to get over the hump. So that's why I think the Spurs shouldn't be the team to beat. And yes, they are 3-1. I think if they play the Nuggets, they might lose. And OKC, I think the Nuggets probably beat them too because the Nuggets got the championship pedigree and they got Jokic. Jokic's going to be a big mismatch for them. He could bring Wemby out of the paint. They could do so much when against them. So I'm going to say OKC is a team to beat. I'm going to say OKC should be the favorite, not the Spurs. And I know we agree.
For the people who don't know,
this
question was kind of talked about a bit, not the answer to the question, but the question was kind of talked about a bit off air. At one point, I thought it was, are the Spurs the team to beat in the West? I had an answer for that. I had notes for that. I said Spurs. Are the Spurs the team to beat in the West? I had notes for that. And then we got to talk right before we went on and say, no, AJ, should the Spurs be the favorite to win the West? And I'm like, Joe, that might change my answer a little bit. I'm not gonna lie. Now, I get where Joe is coming from. The OKC Thunder are the defending champions, and might I add this? Let's not sleep on the Denver Nuggets. Because a part of my first answer with are they the team to beat is, I mean, you got to get through Denver too. Denver, especially if Aaron Gordon come back healthy playing like Aaron Gordon, you got to not only deal with OKC. If Denver don't get knocked out, you got to deal with them boys over there too, right? So I would have said, no, they're not the team to beat. But if you're watching these games, Joe, if you're watching the Spurs, Joe, and it's been a little minute since you've seen SGA on the court, I'm just saying, let me play a little, for the people watching, let me play a little devil's advocate. Let me play a little devil's advocate real quick, right? If you watch it from a distance, right, and you're like, man, I ain't seen SGA in a little bit, right? I ain't seen J-Dub in a little bit. Yeah, OKC, they look cool, right? They didn't finish chest, they cool. But then you turn on the Spurs, and you see the matchups against OKC, where, dang, they can score with OKC. They got the youth to defend OKC and get up and down the floor with OKC. And then they have a generational talent in Wemby that just shifts the whole dynamic of the game. People not talking about this fact, talking about stuff that people ain't talking about. Talking about OKC coasting and all this. Wemby ain't playing 38 minutes a game. Wemby ain't playing 40 minutes a game. Wemby ain't even playing 35 minutes a game. We be playing 28, 29, 30 minutes a game, if that. He's not even out there the whole time, right? So imagine in the postseason when they say, all right, Wemby, we going to give you 38 minutes a game. And we need you to go out there and dominate these basketball games, right? On top of having Castle playing on another level. On top of having your boy, De'Aaron Fox, Sniper over there with some playoff experience, went toe-to-toe with Steph Curry in the playoff series, so he has that experience backing him. With this roster that they have, they are young and they are ascending, and one could argue that they are a year or two away, especially when you gotta go up against the playoff experience that is OKC and the Denver Nuggets, given that they are both healthy going into this postseason. But I'm gonna say this, Joe. Would I be shocked if Wemby just dominated his way through the postseason and De'Aaron Fox took his game to another level the way he did against the Warriors, and Castle came out defending on both sides and scoring on both sides of the ball, and the Spurs put it together? I would not be shocked. I would not be shocked if that happened. So it's hard for me to say they should automatically be the favorites over championship teams. It's hard to say that. I'm not going to lie. But all I'm going to say is, if you came on the air and said, yeah, they should be the favorite, Joe, I might not push back too much. That's all I'm saying. I might be like, if Wemby looking like Wemby and he healthy, bruh, he is unstoppable. He is unguardable. He's shooting over whoever he want to shoot over. He blocking every shot. And I think this is the last thing I'm going to say. This was a damning thing that I didn't like to hear from one of the leaders on OKC. They asked Jalen Williams, J-Dub. They said, you seem to be having troubles with this team. What's going on? Blah, 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 something along those lines. And the first thing he said was, they have a guy over there that's like 7'6", 7'5", and he just, he takes up a lot of space and all that. That sounded like we don't really have no answer for him for real. We're a little nervous about that. We got to find a way to adjust to that. And I'm sure teams will be more physical with him. Teams will knock him around, especially if he's on the court more. He's still a frail guy. Teams are going to test that out. But if Wemby come into this playoffs playing like Wemby, they're going to be a hard out, Joe. So just to play devil's advocate, right? I'm going to say no. I'm going to give it to OKC out of respect. They should be the favorites. But I'm going to also say, if Joe came on air and said, I'm giving it to the Spurs, I might have to co-sign. That's all I'm saying. I might have to be like, I'm with you, Joe. Let's rock out. They young, I get it. But I'm for the co-sign this, Joe. I ain't gonna lie. Because the Spurs look good, Joe. And they got everything you need to beat OKC. They got everything they need, Joe. I don't know if that's the matchup that they want in the playoffs, OKC. Like the Knicks, the Pistons, they want the Knicks. And the Knicks, they don't want to see. I think OKC don't want to see them Spurs, bro. I'm telling you. Multiple bodies to throw at SGA, multiple bodies to throw at Jalen Williams, and then you got Wemby. I don't know, Joe. OKC out of respect. No. I'm gonna say that.
When you mentioned Fox. AJ? I 1000% agree with you, bro. They could win this year.
Bro, I won't say easily, but they could. They could.
They could win this year. I would like. They are the scariest team in the NBA. I would say that the scariest. If they play at their full potential, Wemby hasn't even reached nowhere near a ceiling. If they and in the playoffs, you just get to another level. And you said it, 28 minutes a game. That's it. In the playoff, we doing more than that. Yep. So I'm with you. I'm not mad at nothing you said. It's just that I gotta give it to OKC because they had the best record. They defended champion. They got the MVP. I mean, you disagree, but they're the MVP.
They got the reigning lead MVP. There you go. They got the defending MVP.
If Wemby was playing the same amount of minutes as SGA and Jaylen Brown, he will be MVP right now.
Yes,
he will be MVP.
Yes.
He just don't play enough minutes. He come on the bench some games and all that stuff. Like, dog, they are scary. So I 100% agree with you. So
yeah, it's tough. The West gonna be fun to watch this year. I'm gonna say that. Both conferences are, but I'm watching Wemby, bro. I'm watching Wemby, and the fact that they have a supporting the fact that they are winning the way they're winning with Wemby not playing that many minutes, that supporting cast is like that. The boys, they fast, they young, they defending, they motivated. And the way Wemby plays, we saw it during the All-Star break. He ain't got no, I'm turning it off today. I ain't got it today. He at your neck from start to, he came out, Joe. He came out against the Lakers, Joe. I turned the game off after the first quarter, Joe. I turned the game off after the first.
That was it.
Bro. He came out and said, oh, Bron not playing? Luka, y'all, how dare y'all? Let me give y'all like 26 in this first quarter. Let y'all know what this is, and I'ma chill. He got that Kobe in him, bro. That MJ, that like mental makeup of I'm coming to kill every night, and that scares me in the playoffs, bro. That scares me, bro.
And offensively, the most dangerous thing, first of all, defensively, he has a way of being in the paint while being near the defender. So like he does a great job of like last minute shot block attempts. Like he guarded AJ. He's with AJ as soon as Joe laid the ball out. He just boom. Like bro, I was just looking. And then on offense, he is so good off the ball. They don't run the offense typically through him. Like they don't come down giving him the ball and like Jokic. They'll throw Jokic the ball and everybody running around and Luka come down. No, he's all ball, catching, shooting, alleys. Like now, at times they give him the ball, obviously, but they have a good system where the ball is moving and everybody is calm. So they do a lot because of Wemby. They play with a bunch of guards and Wemby because they can do that. Wemby can help. Like the paint is locked. And Carl mentioned this on R2L show. He said in the playoffs, the 3-point shot ain't always falling. So you got to go in that paint. And Wemby just sitting there like, you sure you want to do this? You jump into the basket, you like, I change my mind. You jump right through the basket.
Yep.
It's crazy. It's scary, man.
Say all I have to say, Joe. Come playoff time, we might have some interesting picks depending on these matchups. Come conference finals, it might be some, depending on how these teams looking around that time, health and how they playing. Because the Spurs is the type of team, they get past that first round. They get to the conference finals, bro. They are extremely dangerous, bro. Extremely dangerous, bro. So
I can't wait. I can't wait. But what I can't wait for real is to hear your pick right here, your sleeper team. Because, I mean, I'm sleeping right now. But when they wake me up when playoff time comes, that's what I want to know. AJ, give the people who is your sleeper team in the NBA.
Before I do that, I just want to put this comment up on the screen. I was saving my response for this moment right here, because I ain't gonna never switch up on my Lakers. It's Lake show or no show. But everybody that know me and follow me, they know I'm out here in Minnesota. They know I got a lot of love for the Timberwolves. They know I got a lot of love for Ant Edwards. And I ain't switching up on my Lakers.
Okay.
But I love the Wolves. I ain't gonna lie, man. I like how the Wolves looking. Now, the one thing I can't say about the Wolves, And one thing that makes them a sleeper to me is the fact that the Wolves have a team that some nights they play like they could easily be a top 3 seed in the West. Some nights they look like they could be number 2 in the West, number 1, whatever the case may be. The problem is they don't show up every night and play. And that's been an issue for them for a while. I think the next growth moment for Anthony Edwards is to get his guys up, not only just because the coaches can only do but so much. As the star, we talk about Wemby, and how he got them guys like every night we coming to kill. Anthony Edwards got to get his guys up every game. I don't care if we're playing the Spurs or, no disrespect, if we playing the Sacramento Kings. We got to get up and we got to ball out. Go ahead. You was about to say something?
No, I mean we tanking, bro. It's tanking season right now.
Right. But it's like, or the Bull. We can say the Bulls, right? You got to get up. Shout out to Big O. We got to get up every night and we got to come to play. I think they lose a lot of games that they shouldn't lose, and this has been an issue for the longest. To define sleeper, I just want to say that to me, and I think to Joe as well, we kind of talked about this off air. A sleeper is a team that's 5, in my opinion, 5 and below that we think could sneak up and win the conference. And I view the Minnesota Timberwolves as one of those teams that could do it. I'm not going to lie. Now, some might say I'm taking the easy way out because what the Wolves do, right? This team was just in the Western Conference Finals 2 years back to back. Neither year did anyone expect those guys to get to the Western Conference Finals back to back. Last year, I thought they would lose to the Lakers, right? Some people thought they would lose to the Warriors. The year before, most was like, you ain't beating Denver. It's not happening. And they found a way to beat Denver in 7 games. Game 7 in Denver. And they found a way to get to the finals. This year, I'm looking at a basketball team, Joe. Listen to these numbers. Number 1, they 3rd in points per game as a team right now. They got 7 players that are averaging double figures right now. They averaging 119.6 points a game. They're a top 5 offensive rating team, right? They 2nd in 3-point percentage as a team, shooting 37.5%, and that immensely helps Anthony Edwards because you watch them shooters while he attacks the basket when he decides he doesn't want to shoot, right? They're a top 5 defensive rating team or top 10 defensive rating team, and we know when the playoffs turn on, they crank it up to another level defensively with their tenacity, right, and their energy and their effort on that side of the ball, and they top 10 in point differential. Anthony Edwards, averaging nearly 30 a game, shooting 49% from the field, right, 40% from the 3, all career highs. The thing I like about Anthony Edwards right now is, again, we are seeing the growth of Anthony Edwards year by year, right? A few years ago, it was the mid-range game that was going, but the three-point shot was kind of mid, right? Last year, we saw the three-point shot take a whole another step, but then the mid-range game was nowhere to be found. This year, he put it all together. He got the mid-range game going. He got the three-point shot going. And it's showing not only when you turn on the tape and when you watch him live, it's showing when I pull up and I watch him live in person, but it's also showing when you look at the numbers. Anthony Edwards got it clicking on all levels right now. Then you look at a guy like Julius Randle. Julius Randle walking 22-7, walking 20-8. That's just his game. That's just what he does. As long as he's healthy, he's a model of consistency. And then you got that wild card in there that we don't talk about enough. Jaden McDaniels. Boy, that boy can go off. One game, he give you 10 and 5, but he have a crucial block down the stretch, so some big-time defensive plays, or he's out there guarding the best player, giving Anthony Edwards a rest and making plays on that side of the ball. And then the next night, he go off for 30. He go off for 25. He go off for 27. Right now, he averaging 15 points a game, shooting 52% from the field. Those are career highs. And like I said, we know what he is defensively. Naz Reid's still hitting shots from the outside. I like how this team looks. I like how this team plays. They're sleeper because they're not consistent. They are not consistent at all. But I've seen them now 2 years straight be consistent when they needed to be consistent to get to the conference finals. And so they are a team in the conference that nobody's talking about because you have, you got the new team or not new, but you got a team in the Rockets that's got KD now, right? And you got the San Antonio Spurs, right? And then people every now and then throw the Lakers in the mix. Honestly, just because we the Lakers, we ain't going nowhere, to be honest, right? You got a bunch of different teams in the Western Conference that people throw in the mix, but nobody's talking about the Wolves. So my sleeper team that could come out of the Western Conference would be the Wolves. Am I going to predict they're going to come out of the West? When Wemby roaming around and with SGA, when he come back healthy, and you got to try to maybe go through Jokic for a second. I can't go that far, right? But would I be stunned if they may go on a run the way Anthony Edwards is playing? And Anthony Edwards is a playoff elevator. He elevates in the playoffs. So these numbers you're seeing now, he averaging nearly 30. He might get to the playoffs, give you 32, 33. You never know, right? So could I see them making a run again? Absolutely. So I got the Wolves as my playoff sleeper.
I'm not mad that I pick them for the West because you look at the West, it's either I was thinking about like a sleeper, not to win the whole thing, but to probably upset a team. Phoenix could be somebody like that. I think Phoenix been playing really good. And obviously the Lakers. I gotta pick. I gotta think about the Lakers because y'all got Luka. When you got a player like Luka, you never know what can happen. But I like the Minnesota pick. My pick is in the East. All right. And you might know where I'm going, man. I'm going with the 76ers, man. I think the 76ers, like, healthy, they legit have a good case to win the whole thing. Win the East. I know you said what team can match up with the Pistons. Healthy, I think Philly could. Because Philly, the Pistons are strong on the front court. Ain't nobody in the league could do it in the league, bro. I'm sorry. One leg, two legs, one thigh, one stomach gate. I don't care what he got going on. Nobody can stop him in the playoffs. He just never fully healthy. But this is why I like Philly. Let's say starting five: Tyrese Maxey, VJ, Paul George, Kelly Oubre, and Joel Embiid. We're talking about five shooters. They all can shoot. Four of them are playmakers, meaning like not playmakers. Four of them are like a create their own shot. Right. And four of them also are either decent or above average playmakers. Like Paul George, when he was put in the point guard position with the Clippers, when Kawhi went down, he was averaging like 6, 7 assists a game, 8 assists a game. Tyrese Maxey, clutch. He's going to win clutch player of the year. He's leading the NBA in clutch points and assists. Maxey can give you 40. We saw that against the Knicks. Do I got to talk about Joel Embiid? Not really. Because like I just said, with one leg, he was cooking the Knicks. And B is healthy. They just low managing him for the playoffs. And B last 6 games, AJ, 37 points, 40 points, 24, 35, 33, 27. He's there. And then you got VJ, which I thought was a heaven sent for them from the draft. They need that defensively, because defensively he's a baller, and offensively. Now, here's the key element to the Sixers. It's Paul George. And let me tell you why. In these playoffs, AJ, you're a Laker guy. You know what I mean? You got Shaq and Kobe. You had Pau Gasol and Kobe. You had things. You had LeBron and AD. It's that third guy that got to come through in that game. It's a game or two, and that third guy got to hold it down for you. Paul George, do you trust Paul George? Maybe not as a number 1 guy. Maybe not as a number 2 guy. But we talking about number 3. We are asking Paul George to literally give us like 10 a game, or not 10, maybe 15 a game. But every once in a while, can you give us 20? Can you give us one game where you might drop 30? Can PG get hot? Yes. PG still has the game. He just don't have the responsibility like he used to, which is good. PG is still a two-way player. Is he elite like he was back in the day? No, but he's still a two-way player, especially with the load that he has right now. He doesn't have a big load. So I feel like if the Sixers are healthy, and B has made a comment also. He said, I would trade my he's saying it now. I would trade my MVP for one healthy playoff run. That's what he said. So that's why he's low managing, not playing back-to-back games. They just focus on the playoffs right now. So and in the East, if I said this to you when the season first started, when people were like, we said trade Embiid, I'm like, if there's a season for the Sixers to not trade Embiid, it's this one. Because the East is wide. We got Detroit at number 1. This is wide open. And I think Philly is also the scariest team in the East because they arguably have the best player in the East, and they got potential 2 All-Stars on their team, but they got to be healthy. 3 All-Stars.
And Maxey you see, he punched on Ant the other night. I was like, oh, golly, come on now. I caught Ant slipping under the rim. That was...
He did catch him slipping, though.
Yeah, right, literally. No, literally, I had a West and an East team. I didn't want to do both, but my East team, Sixers.
You know what's funny?
That was my East team.
And the other
Go
topic,
ahead.
you was going on the league like the South. You got the Sixers. I ain't gonna go too far down because we gonna talk about the Sixers. I'm like, this dude better pick the Sixers.
right. I'm like, I kind of that kind of spoiled it, but I'm like, you know what? Like I said, I got the Wolves stuff on, so let me talk about the Wolves. I doubt my guy go with the Wolves, so I'm gonna talk about the Wolves. But no, the Sixers got all the pieces that they needed. They just gotta be healthy. I know it's Paul George, dealing with that suspension. I'm not sure if I don't think he's back just yet.
Nah, he got 25 games, but he was back before the playoffs.
Yeah. So yeah. Before and honestly, this could be good for PG. You got even more time to get your body right. But before the suspension, he was cooking. PG was low key cooking. So I'm like, it's not the role that Sixers fans expected PG to step into, but he's stepping into that role seamlessly, bro, and hooping. And so yeah. They are a team. If Embiid is healthy, right, and Maxey continues to elevate his game come postseason time, PG plays well. He ain't got to play amazing. Just be okay out there. Just be average. Give him 15 every now and then. Give him 20. You know what I mean? Like here and there, pick up the slack and ball out. And you can't forget about VJ Edgecombe either, who also has been having a really good rookie season and playing extremely well. And I know he'll be a rookie in the playoffs, but he don't have a ton of pressure on him to ball out, so he could pitch in every now and then and be that third guy in case PG ain't got it going. So they got a team, bro. He a dog, so they got a team that could for sure go on a run. Would I pick them? I'm not sure, but that's what makes them the perfect sleeper team.
Yep,
that's what makes them the perfect sleeper team. It's there. They got to be healthy. Yeah, they definitely got to be healthy for sure. So
yeah, man,
not mad at it.
Let's get it. All right, I think it worked out perfectly. The first topic, we clashed. Second one, we agreed. Third one,
right,
we kind of disagreed, but we agreed. And the fourth one, we had two different halves. You know what I mean? Like it was a good balance.
Right, exactly. Facts.
It was a good balance.
100%.
All right,
for sure, man, for sure.
Yes, sir. For sure. Great show. My last words. Great show, AJ. Man, I feel like this was I feel like it's been 2 weeks, right? It's been 2 weeks since we did the episode. Yeah. Well, since the Super Bowl, man. It's been it's like it's a whole February, and you can tell because the energy was just his energy is always high. But we was at it today, you know what I mean? So this was good. Shout out to Carl in the comments, Kevo in the comments, Tombo, and Dave. Y'all chipping in the comment. Appreciate y'all. Commanders, man, I'm hearing good news about David Blau. I mean, everybody's singing tunes. Ben Johnson. I love him, man. I mean, he's gonna be a coach soon. What's your boy, Dan Campbell? We wanted him, but the Commanders were smart in promoting him before we even got a chance to meet with him. Like I'm telling you, the defensive coordinator, I'm feeling good about him, but I got scarred by Joe Witt. I'm sorry, like Joe Witt was sounding real good. He sounded real good. I remember he was talking like this. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do that. And then Ferris Boot and London Fletcher was like, "Man, I'll play for you right now, man. I'll play for you." And I was with them. Right. I was like, "Yo, he sound good. He's gonna be like that." And then, man, we were just trash. Right. You know what I mean? Right. But this DC, he's more like I'm gonna show you more than talk. I'm not gonna say him too much. We're gonna do that. We're gonna. He's more calm, cool, collective. But David Blau, I'm feeling really good about. I think he's the next young boy genius. And they talking about we're gonna be heavy in the free agency market because we're trying to get Jalen Daniels to that Super Bowl before the freaking contract is up. That's talk right now. We need to get to that bowl before that contract expires because we know how it is. Y'all got there before the contract, you know what I mean? And then y'all had to pay your boy. So we gotta get there too. You know what I mean? Shout out to your boy for leading the way. And the Kings, we tanking, bro. Any shots, I receive it. I'm cool, man. The only way the Kings will get a superstar is through the draft. We're not trading for one or signing one. Nobody's coming to Sacramento. We have to draft one. Now, do I want AJ or Peterson? I would rather have AJ. But I would people are down with Peterson or Darren Peterson because of the whole sitting out on that stuff. The boy is still nice. He got talent, man. So I would take either one, but I would definitely settle for AJ. But I'm straight. We last place right now. Just hope the lottery bars don't work us and give it to somebody else like Utah, who AJ went to school with. He went to school in Utah. It's all fixed. But anyways, great show, man.
Yeah, man. Great show, man. Of course, man. It was fun today. It was fun. You know what I mean? I got some extra preparation in. I'm like, okay, you know, we getting ready to cook today. I had my rebuttals. Joe had his, man. Today was all of our episodes are fun, but today was just, it felt like it was just another level. Like you said, it felt like it had been a little bit since we did this. So today was a fun episode. Shout out to everybody that tuned in, everybody from the R2L community, everybody from my channel, Timeout or Full Timeout. Again, always, like usual, likes, subscribes, retweets, shares, tell a friend and tell a friend. Y'all know how I go, man. Y'all know when y'all are looking for a sports debate show, you could watch First Take, right? And you could watch, you know, all these other shows that you could think of off the top of, you know, First Things First. But you know where you're going to get the most fun at. You know where you get the best analysis at. You know where to come if you want to hear, you know, real unbiased opinions, long as it ain't about the Eagles and the Commanders. Real unbiased opinions. You know where to come, right? To get all of that. And it's that time of the year, man. So y'all tune in. And like I said, tell a friend and tell a friend. Lakers, listen, the Lakers not terrible. The Lakers not even good. The Lakers are solid. The Lakers, just like usual, can't defend. You got three guys that are your three best players, and none of them can defend, and that's just a reoccurring issue. If you can't outscore guys, which they're not going to be able to do every night, then you're more than likely going to lose, and that's just what the Lakers are. You got a little shot in the dark because you got Luka, and we seen Luka do the most, but you need a certain team built around Luka, and that ain't that this year. You know, I want to say that. Eagles fans, I got something special cooking for y'all, man. I wanted to do a little promo today. I got a little intro I'm putting together for a promo I'll show y'all next week. But I want to let y'all know, man, your boy is back with the Eagles analysis. Because I got my sources. You know what I mean? I got my people that I go to when I need that Philly news, that Eagles news, when I need to know what's going on in the locker room, when I need to know what the buzz is outside the locker room. I got my people, right? And a lot of times, you know, my sources don't be saying the same stuff that a lot of the mainstream sources be saying. And most of the time, my sources are right, to be honest. Most of the time, when I talk about the Eagles, I'll talk from a place of intelligence because I get my information from people who know what the hell's going on. And with the Eagles, there's a lot of misinformation out there. So I'm letting y'all know your boy is back. Y'all can get y'all Eagle news from me. I'm giving y'all reels, right? I'm giving y'all live streams. I'm giving y'all full pod, and I'm going to try to get y'all live watches during the game as well this year. I think this is the perfect time to bring it back. And that's all I'm going to say for now. Y'all just understand, Eagles fans. Just know your boy is here. We're going to represent. We're going to put y'all on. We're going to talk about them birds as much as possible with the draft coming up and the combine coming up, all this good stuff, right? We're going to get into all of it. There's a lot of different things to discuss right from the jump. Are we going to trade Ajae? Is Hurts going to get an extension? Who we going to sign in free agency? Who we going to draft? Who we look? It's just so much to get into. So y'all make sure y'all stay tuned. Announcement coming soon. And like usual, I appreciate y'all, man. I appreciate y'all. And of course, I also remain Joe, Unfazed.
Unfazed. Thank you for staying to the end. If you're watching this on YouTube, please like this video, subscribe, and also hit that notification button so you can be notified next time we put out a video. If you're listening on any podcast platform, subscribe and hit that notification button, y'all, so you can be notified we put out another podcast audio. And last but not least, hit that share button. No matter what you're listening to or watching it, hit that share button and send it to somebody that you know that would love to watch this episode you just listened to. So once again, thank you for staying to the end, and we'll see y'all in the next episode.